Hello, everybody. How are you doing today? My name is Tony Rizzano, and this is another episode of the world famous, the University Love, the best podcast in 1, 2, 3 galaxies. Ladies and gentlemen, you and I, we just call the show Online Marketing Moves. And we are coming to you live today. Today is Thursday, December the 9th, 2021 at the time of this recording. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to talk about you and writing a book. Writing a book makes you look like an expert. Writing books puts you in a position of leadership. This is why you should have a book. It doesn't matter. I don't care how big it is, how small it is. A book is a book. And when you have a book, you can always write to people. You can always go on people's podcasts. You can always create something. You can always create offers around the book, with the book, doing the book. This is the reason why you should definitely look into writing a book. And it also helps out your information business. Ladies and gentlemen, the more information you are willing to give, the more information you're willing to charge people, the better off you will be, okay? Have you ever seen, there's a guy, my brother used to watch, well, I haven't told this story in a long time on the podcast. My brother used to be the king of watching infomercials, okay? My brother, God bless him. The great Terrence Rizzano. He would watch many infomercial. And one person he used to watch back in the late 90s, early 2000s was a guy named Dean Graziosi. And this guy would sell cars. Then he started selling houses and started doing all this stuff, And I remember one day, it was a long time after that, after I started driving trucks and I moved to Georgia and everything, and I was on the internet when I think I first got a computer. I was on the internet, and I saw a guy with a whole different tone talking about, motivating and selling a book, and I was like, I said, this guy looks so familiar. What is going on? And then I remember I phoned my brother and I said, hey, do you remember this guy named Dean Graz? And my brother said, yeah, you remember he used to sell the houses. And I said, well, now he got a whole new game. Now he got a whole new hustle going. Now he out here selling information, selling motivation or whatever, books and whatnot. And my brother said, And so yeah, this guy Dean Graziosi, he's not alone. There's a lot of people that sell book after book after book, and it's a reason why people create books. It's a power play. It's a position of power. A lot of these people are not my man Stephen King. He loves to write books. Stephen King writes book after book after book. You see him. You see a guy like what's the romance guy named Nicholas Sparks. He writes a boatload of books. Certain people really, they write books not for, hey, not for internet marketing purpose, but they write books for the joy of book writing, People that do internet marketing, they write books to position themselves as a power play. So that way, whenever somebody says, hey, this guy's a best-selling blah, 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 And so you should do the same, So whenever you write a book, like I said, doesn't matter how big, doesn't matter how small, and you don't have to sit down for 20 hours a day trying to write the book. You can either record on your phone, you can record on a microphone, you can get like an audio program, like a SoundWave, SoundCloud, I believe, something like that, and you can do it that way. And you can send it, and you could. If you don't want to edit, if you don't know how to edit a book, you can send it to somebody. You have to pay them, but you send it to them and they'll edit the book for you. And they'll send it back to you, and you read over it and see how you like it, and then, go to Amazon or go to Kindle or wherever you want to go to and start trying to sell a book, or do it on your website, And at that point, you can sell your book for however much you want to, I told you I'm on an email list with a guy named Ben Settle. And he last month he was selling the book for. He said his book is $1,000, but he was gonna give people a couple $100 discount. So people were more than willing to pay $800 for a book. You know what I mean? And so books are part of the information business, you know. And information marketing, having an information business is something that I highly recommend. I don't care what else you do. There's more information out there in the world, more crappy information. And if you write a book, you say, hey, I got a book. That's a good way to position yourself ahead of the group, ahead of the leaders. I mean, just think about Robert Kiyosaki. Have you ever read Rich Dad, Poor Dad? He created a whole company just off that book. You know, that book is, I bought that book. It's a pretty interesting book. I like it. I'm going to pass it on to my daughter one day. She's going to read it, hopefully. And so there, that book that book did well for him, and he created a whole business, created the whole Rich Dad, Poor Dad programs, and he got all these books and all this other stuff, and he lines himself up as an educational company, not a financial company, but an educational company. This is another good way, to you can give out financial advice without taking the hit, say, hey, we're educators, we're not, financial, we're not giving you any advice, and that's definitely a smart thing to say. But there's plenty of reasons why you should think about writing a book. There's plenty of reasons why you should write a book, and don't think, oh, I gotta do it the old traditional way, because if you ever read Stephen King's book about writing, he writes the book and then he waits 6 weeks and goes back and edits the book, and then he does all this, all that. But if you're just doing it for the internet information purposes, I'm saying you want a good book and everything like that, but you could pay somebody to edit the book, or you could really, let's be honest with each other. You can go on Upwork now and you can have somebody ghostwrite the book for you, I knew somebody that did that. I was like, oh, that's all right. They don't sound bad. They was like, hey, it's cool. I got a book now. I'm like, yeah, sure, you got a book, but me myself, I like to write, so I want to write my own book. That's just me, but I want to write fiction too, so I definitely want to get into fiction and stuff like that, but that's just me. But books put you in a position of power and things of that nature, and so you want to be, in all honesty, when you're doing this internet thing, no matter what you do, online, offline, the more you position yourself as a leader, the more you position yourself as, a top-notch guy. You want to be the starting quarterback of your team. You don't want to be the backup. You don't want to be the left guard, the right guard. You want to be El Capitan. You want to be the chief. You want to be the point man. And the more you can position yourself to do that, the more money you will make. The more expectations might be high, but guess what? It's your goal to reach them. It's your goal to get these guys to the promised land every year. And the more you can do that, the more money you will make at the end of the day, And so we are here to position ourselves as leaders. We're here to position ourselves as experts. You can do that through entertainment. You can do that. You don't want to. You don't want to be one of these people that yell at people all the time and preach to people all the time. Nobody wants to hear that, People want to be entertained. People want to have fun. People want to, and for you, if you write this book, then you can go on a podcast tour and you can show people your personality, and people will flock to you. People will jump on your email list. Always be plugging that email list wherever you go. And another quick little thing before. If I was you, I'm on my thing right now, I have name and email, but in the next month or two, I'm gonna switch to name, email, and phone number. And if somebody doesn't want me to have their phone number, then I don't want them on my list. You know what I mean? The more information you can get off people, the better off you will be. The more you can sell them, the more you can send postcards in the mail. You can send physical stuff in the mail. You want to be in people's minds, because people have ADD these days. They have it bad. So the more you can be in their minds, the more that you can be in and the more they could be in your, whatever name, if your name is Joe Universe, boom, Joe Universe. That's the goal. You want them to constantly be in your world. You want to be constantly living in their head, Like, I'll give you an example. Yesterday, I was taking out the trash. It was about 6:30, 6:45, and every month I get a newsletter from, I told you, Ben Settle. I get a email players. If you don't know what that is, you can always check it out, emailplayers.com. I give the guy a plug. He's a good guy. And so every month, once a month, I get an email and it says, hey, on this date, the newsletter is gonna show up. And so, I was walking outside doing my trash, and I said, hey, where in the heckity heck is my newsletter? I haven't seen it yet. And I walked back inside, and 5 minutes later, I heard a doorbell ring, and I said, oh, okay, that must be it. And there it was, my newsletter, and it was a very good newsletter. I haven't been able to read it yet. It had a special surprise in it. I can't tell you what it is because unless you're a member, you can't let you in the club. But anyway, it's a great read, and it gives me some inspiration to start my own newsletter one of these days. Because that's very intriguing to me, because like I told you, I like to write. I'm doing more writing, doing more poetry, and I'm like, okay, this is a great idea. You can learn from people. Don't copy people. That's the thing. Like Ben talks about a lot of Dungeons and Dragons and stuff like that. I know about that stuff, but I'm not that into that stuff. I'm more about sports and wrestling and TV shows, and so that, when I talk about, and I want to write about, I probably will sell a newsletter about content creation and just having the ability to pivot after a while about, doing, pivoting from one thing to another, because I've done it a couple times and I've done it with success. And so, but not to compare apples to oranges, but Ben just gives me inspiration. And so, you can always be inspired by somebody, just don't copy him. But yeah, that's what you want from your, you want to be living in, if you can, the more you can be present in their life, the better off you will be. This is why I highly recommend you email on a daily basis. You email every single day. You email, and it would definitely pay off at the end of the day, because the more money you make, what did this guy one time, I was watching this, it was late night, I was watching this guy, Timothy Sykes, that's his name, Timothy Sykes, yeah, he does penny stocks. I don't know anything about penny stocks. I'll be the first one to tell you. It seemed like some crap to me, but he was funny. He just said $500 a day keeps the day job away, and I thought that's pretty funny. I think $500 a day keeps the normal job away, and I thought if I could make $500 a day from internet marketing, I definitely won't have a job, So we're working on that, and so. The more that you live, the more that you are in these people's presence, the more you email on a regular basis, you definitely could get to that $500 a day stuff, And as an entrepreneur, as an independent contractor, that's what you're looking for. You want to generate money even when you're sleeping, It's always cool. It's always cool when you wake up and you see somebody logged. It's always cool when you first get started and you wake up and you see somebody and they sign up to your email list, and you're like, oh man, I've been sleeping. They sign up to the email list, or they are a lead in an affiliate program that you might be in. That stuff is cool, You got more views on YouTube since you've been asleep. It's a nice rush, you know what I mean? It's a good feeling. I'm just here to tell you that. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, write books, position yourself, and everything will be all right. And we'll talk more about building worlds and stuff like that as we move forward. But I just wanted to tell you, write a book, And don't worry, I'll do the same. And I'll get on the podcast and I'll entertain people. And I'm gonna get my email list to grow, and I'm gonna get my email list active. My email list is dead right now, but like I told you Monday, you can make it rise, you know. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for the podcast. I appreciate you listening. We'll be back tomorrow with the all-new episode of Online Marketing Moves. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tony Rizzano. Take care of yourselves. And as always, everybody, peace.